Do you know which kind of NPDES permit your facility needs? Are you confident you're not under or over permitted, or worse, operating without the right coverage at all? Today, we're breaking down the three main types of NPDES industrial permits: general permits, individual permits, and no exposure certifications, plus a few honorable mentions. By the end of this video, you'll understand how they differ, who they apply to, and how RMA helps you figure out which one is the best fit for your operation. Hey there, I'm Ruhlin from Resource Management Associates, your environmental compliance experts. Since 1992, we've been helping companies across the US navigate the sometimes confusing world of NPDES permitting. Picking the right type of permit isn't just a paperwork exercise, it shapes your monitoring requirements, your costs, and even your relationship with regulators. So let's break it down. First up, general industrial permits. For most facilities with stormwater discharges, general industrial permits are the go-to option. These are often multi-sector permits that cover a wide range of industries under one umbrella, though sometimes they're industry specific, like for concrete plants or scrapyards. These permits focus almost entirely on stormwater and not process water discharges. You'll need to develop a stormwater pollution prevention plan, or a SWIP, conduct monitoring, and submit reports on a regular basis. The big benefit? If your operations fit, this is usually the easiest, fastest, and most cost-effective option. Next, we have individual industrial permits. Now, if your operation doesn't fit neatly into a general permit, you may need an individual permit. These are custom tailored to your site, and they often come into play when you're discharging processed wastewater along with stormwater. They're often heavier lifts with site-specific effluent limits, more intensive monitoring and reporting, and sometimes specific treatment requirements. They take longer to apply for, often cost more, and may involve back and forth negotiations with regulators. But for complex industrial operations, this is the right path. And having someone experienced in your corner can make the difference between a fair, workable permit and one that piles on unnecessary burdens. Now we come to the no exposure certifications, or NECs. The third option is a no exposure certification, or an NEC. This is for facilities that technically require coverage, but keep all industrial materials and activities indoors or undercover, completely protected from stormwater. You're literally certifying that rainwater cannot come into contact with your operations. NECs can be viewed of as lighter than a general permit, with no sampling, minimal paperwork, and usually just an annual certification. They're perfect for warehouses, indoor-only operations, or businesses with strong housekeeping practices. Think of it as a permit for people who almost don't need one. Now, let's get into some honorable mentions. There are a few other categories worth knowing. For starters, we have construction general permits, or CGPs, which apply to construction projects that are bigger than 1 acre in scope. They're focused on erosion control and stabilization during the construction phases, and they're temporary compared to industrial permits. Next, we have ones known as municipal permits, or MS4s, which cover stormwater systems owned and operated by cities, townships, or counties. They often trickle down requirements to local businesses. And finally, many municipalities do issue their own stormwater permits or ordinances, covering everything from site housekeeping to specific sweeping schedules. They're not technically NPDES permits, but they're often enforced right alongside. So, which NPDES permit is right for you? For most industrial facilities, it's either a general permit or an individual permit, or if you're lucky, a no exposure certification. But figuring out which one applies and how to stay compliant under it isn't always straightforward. That's where RMA comes in. We've been doing this since 1992 for hundreds of facilities across the US. Whether you need us to act like your outsourced environmental department or just need help filing an application, we're here to help. So call, email, or visit us online. We'll help you figure out which permit fits your facility and keep you compliant without the headache. I'm Ruhlin from Resource Management Associates, your environmental experts. Thanks for watching.